Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our June Thought Leader webinar. For everyone joining us live today, you may use the live chat features below on your screen to ask questions throughout today's webinar. We are also streaming today's webinar live on Facebook. Please feel free to share this webinar and support our mission at Stewardship to Serve. If you are joining us after the live session in the recorded webinar, feel free to ask questions in the comments section below, and our team will respond to you directly. For those who are new to our webinar series, my name is Julianne Manning, and I am the Customer Care Specialist at Stewardship. The goal of our Thought Leader webinar series is to provide nonprofits and faith-based communities with tools and resources to help their donor communities. Our guest speaker today is Ben Steiger, President and Founder of the Heart of the Outdoors. Ben will be sharing with us his inspiring story of how he persevered through finding the path to fulfill his organization's mission. He will also be sharing fundraising tips with us that have worked for his cause. Since today's Thought Leader webinar topic is fundraising for your camps and retreats, we wanted to start off by giving you 8 tips to funding your summer camps and retreats. These include: have an international food day. Encourage those going on a mission trip to bring in food from that culture. Then you can have church members pay a small entrance fee to come and taste these treats from around the world. You could also have a bike-a-thon. Since donors pledge per mile, anyone can participate and bike however many miles they can to raise money for their event. Have a letter writing campaign. This is a classic fundraiser, but a well-written letter with a strong, meaningful message will help your team make their fundraising goal in no time. Have a charity car wash. This is a great fundraiser because it does not have to take a whole lot of planning, and all you need is volunteers, car washing soap, and a good hose. Balloon count. Instead of guessing how many pieces of candy are in a jar, have people guess how many balloons are in a car. Charge $1 per guess and see who comes the closest. Create a cookbook. Compile your favorite recipes from people in your congregation and create a cookbook to sell. A smoothie stand. Instead of a lemonade stand, try a smoothie stand. You can even set up this stand at your local summer festival. Pink Flamingos. The Pink Flamingo fundraisers are an easy way to get your neighborhood involved with your church's fundraising. All it takes is an obnoxious pink flamingo lawn ornament and a note with contact information. For more information about these 8 tips to funding your summer camps and retreats, you can go to our blog at stewardshiptechnology.blog. All right. Without further ado, I would like to welcome our guest speaker, Ben Steiger, as he talks with us about his organization's mission and provides us with some fundraising tips. So we're going to give just a moment here. And Ben, you should be good to go.
Okay, do you have me now?
Yep, Ben, ready when you are. Yep.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited and humbled to share with you guys and the group today. I want to put a quick plug in there for Stewardship. You know, after a few years of trying different processors and partners, we found no partners. We found a lot of people trying to meet our needs, but they were not able to, and we found a true partner in Stewardship. So we really appreciate what you guys do, and thank you for that. So
Thank
anyway,
you.
yeah. As Julianne said, my name's Ben Steiger. I'm the founder and president of Heart of the Outdoors, a 501c3 nonprofit organization with our headquarters located in Morrow, Ohio. And although this probably will be a bit unconventional to past webinars, I do believe there is something significant to help everyone who is listening accomplish their purpose. So bear with me, but please know this. I'm just a common, ordinary, uneducated dude that loves Jesus, loves others, and enjoys the outdoors. And somehow God has decided to use me. Okay, so who we are. Heart of the Outdoors was established in 2007 as a Christian organization dedicated to bringing challenge, adventure, and truth through the outdoors to evangelize, disciple, and serve in our community and beyond. What we do, although we own a large property, which we utilize for ministry, events, training, office space, partner development, and housing, our main focus is on creating unique outdoor-related ministry models and media production tools to equip churches, camps, and other organizations to help them disciple individuals within their sphere of influence or their communities. And so, why we do it? We believe that God gives everyone passions, talents, and abilities, not just for their own enjoyment, but as tools to reach the lost and encourage the saved. Motivated by our faith in Jesus Christ, we have leveraged our passion, talents, abilities, and resources to reveal the undeniable evidence of God's glory through his creation. Okay, so where we do it, all of our ministries revolve around the outdoors, and were created to be duplicated and utilized autonomously from Heart of the Outdoors. And so although we create these ministry models and we do host them here at our headquarters, they are designed to be done anywhere in the nation or in the world. And finally, how we do this, how we accomplish all of this is with a small staff and a large volunteer base. There are 4 of us on full-time staff and 2 part-timers. Each staff member is responsible for raising 100% of their personal support. A large portion of the general operations is funded through individuals, through corporations, and through foundation contributions. I am also blessed with a strong and an active board, each passionate about the outdoors and each in love with Jesus. Okay, slide 2, if you will. So over the years, we've created multitude of different ministry tools to come alongside churches and other organizations in their pursuit of reaching their communities. We've created ministry models like the Blood Brothers Challenge, which is our 6-month men's discipleship ministry, or the One Bloods Challenge, a 6-month couples ministry, Timberline, an adventure-based ministry, or our His Pins Archery ministry, which is our youth archery ministry, to name a few. I'm not going to go through all of those. But going into 2007, each ministry was doing great, doing well. And we weren't utilizing all of those at the same time, but everything was good and healthy. But then mid-season, we hit a roadblock, and it seemed like everything was stunted, including our fundraising. And go on slide 3. And we had grown, into an international ministry, impacting tens of thousands of individuals, and we were barely scraping by as an organization, let alone as individual staff members who each raised their full support. The problem was, right, that I couldn't figure out what the problem was. So I, along with my staff, spent the next year and a half tweaking that, trying to make it work, thinking that at any point it was going to explode, and along with it, the funding would as well. Naturally, that's what we're expecting and hoping, but man, it wasn't happening. So we were faced with a question. Do we continue doing what we were doing, or do we dig in and truly figure out what in the world was going on? So I figured an Einstein quote was a good one there. Staff was paycheck to paycheck at this point, and the general fund was weak and without the needed capital to fund any significant growth pushes. So the middle of last year, with the board members coaching, I started to have a staff report. I started to have them report to me weekly KRIs, or key result indicators, in regards to ministry partner development. We call that MPD for short. And you guys can see on the screen some of those metrics, but these metrics helped them consistently focus on the lifeblood of their existence as staff members. And slowly but surely, we started to see support rise, and with it, the overall staff morale. Those of you that raise support, you know what it's like to be struggling to meet your financial needs. And going into the new year, staff were not just beginning to meet their minimum funding needs with this new report, but they were starting to see their desired funding needs met. And on the left, you can see on that slide, it's circled in red, the KRIs that we use specifically for MPD or ministry partner development. I have them track new partners. I have them track lost partners, monthly partners, annual, occasional partners. They track the recurring donation amounts with a desire to see the recurring amount meet or exceed their set goal. They track total partners and how they did communicating to existing partners. When we talk about partnerships, we're talking about relationships, and they're not just people that give us money. We're really looking for partners, and that takes a relationship to facilitate a true partnership. So they track total partners, existing partners. They report the number of interactions, be it call, text, email, letter, or face-to-face meetings. They also set goals for the following week, and you can see at the bottom, so this individual had a goal of reaching out to 20 different individuals and having at least 2 face-to-face meetings. And so this report certainly allows me to hold them accountable, but more than anything, it keeps top of mind for them, keeps fundraising top of mind so they don't lose focus on what has to happen for them to be able to support their families and also fulfill their role at Heart of the Outdoors. And this was a significant game changer for us going into the new year last year, and for individual support. Okay, so that was great, but we still had a significant problem. We still had to figure out how to move beyond the buffalo, if you will. That was my roadblock, and move beyond the buffalo in regards to ministry expansion, and with it, our corporate funding. So we spent the better part of January, February, and March of this year digging into, all elements of our organization. We read books, we did studies, and I talked to everyone I could, just trying to figure out which direction to go. And finally it hit me. I don't know, it's been in front of me for years. I've recognized it, but not fully. I didn't recognize that this was our full problem. The problem isn't just our problem, though. It's everyone's problem. I'm sure that everybody can relate to this. The problem is busyness. And, when we first moved out to the country, when I first moved to the country with my family back in 2000, and then for years to follow, it was a slower pace of life. It was different than living in town or the suburbs. How you spent your time, your money, or the efforts invested in your children's sports or your lawn was a stark contrast compared with nowadays. The mentality of keeping up with the Joneses wasn't nearly as significant out here as it was closer to the city. I'm sure that some of you guys can relate to this, but currently, for those of us who indulge in today's technology, we find social media at our fingertips, whether we like it or not. It seems we are blinded by a keeping up with the Joneses mentality through this gross manipulation of our minds to do more, to make more, and to be more than we are humanly capable of. And all the while try to maintain a healthy life. Sure, we connect and keep up with friends and family through social media, but more often than not, our minds are pummeled with everyone else's social economic status that we are left with desires of the flesh to compare and to compete. And on top of all that, you have the media outlets, algorithms keeping in front of us a host of things our flesh wants to see, read, and partake in. And so we are left with the mentality of having to do more, make more, and be more, which renders us okay, as best as husbands and wives, fathers and mothers, brothers, sisters, friends. You get my point. Okay at best. And often we end up worn out, burned out, ragged, and ready to quit it all. Those images on the screen were just images that just resonated with me. I have been in that point where so much is coming at me, screaming, do more, be more, make more, and I've just had enough. And wasn't able to sustain that. So for us at Heart of the Outdoors, the same was true. We were overloaded, ill-equipped, and underpaid, all the while trying to get busy people to do one more thing. We were sick and tired of being sick and tired. I then realized, at this point, just a harsh reality. In order to continue, we had to stop what we were doing, do what we most needed to, and do it with absolute excellence. So a few weeks after the realization that we needed to stop doing what we were doing in order to do what we needed to, my board challenged me to crystallize my message, cut off half of what I was doing, and stay gritty. Maybe not word for word, but pretty close. And so I wanted to tap into my godly potential. I wanted to be able to accomplish everything that I could to the best of my ability. I wanted to be able to help change the world with what God had called me to. If I was going to do that, I was going to have to let go of some things that I and many others had put blood, sweat, and tears into. And with what I hope was the Lord's leading, I started cutting everything that wasn't producing or offering extreme depth. And the largest of which was our Hispens archery ministry, which has impacted tens of thousands of individuals around the world. 25 clubs in the US, 2 clubs in British Columbia, 2 clubs in Honduras, 1 in Belarus, 3 in Mexico, 8 in Peru, 2 in Haiti, 2 in Africa. And the ministry was healthier than ever, and it was still growing. It was doing good things, but for us, I realized it wasn't doing the greatest thing. We had to let it go. All right, so it was time for us to break through the noise. I couldn't find a better image than a sonic boom, but it was time for us to break through the noise. The clutter, it was so loud that we needed to take some drastic steps. This do more, make more, be more mentality wasn't going to be penetrated with a broad approach. It was time to lead the way. We had to crystallize the message, cut off half of what we were doing, and stay gritty. In order to be able to break through our culture's busy mentality, we had to focus. If you would go to the next slide, please. And everything we do moving forward has to be executed with extreme focus and excellence. And we decided to follow one course until success, not to be distracted by other pretty views. You guys can see those 2 peaks to the left and the right of the main view. A lot of people settle for those lower peaks, but God has called us to summit the crest of the highest peak. And I don't know if you guys have ever climbed a mountain or not, but when you climb a large mountain for the first time, it's really easy, to settle for that first big view and say that it is good enough, because you look up and it's so much farther to go and you're already exhausted, you're already sucking air and your muscles are weak, and you just want to settle for that lower view. How much better could it be? Well, let me tell you guys something. If you persevere, if you climb the mountain and crest that first summit, it'll change your life. It'll change it forever. And you'll never settle for just the lower peaks again, because the higher you go, the better you can see. And the better you can see, the better you can lead. All right. Don't settle for those lower peaks. So for us, that one thing, that complete focus for us is battling for the hearts of men. That's what we do best and what is making the deepest impact. Winning the heart of a man is the key to fight for a marriage, a family, a church, a community, and beyond. The statistics don't lie. The probability of seeing freedom, fulfillment, and purpose embraced by many skyrocket when we capture the hearts of men. So moving forward, we will be continuing to operate under the umbrella of Heart of the Outdoors, but we'll be doing business as blood brothers with a vision of every man embracing the lifelong adventure of loving God completely, heart, soul, mind, and strength, and a mission to help move men beyond desire and into a passionate pursuit of Jesus Christ. Okay, so what does this mean for you? All right, how does this apply to fundraising or for whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish in your purpose? Okay, so no matter what you're doing, no matter what funds you are trying to generate, no matter how much you need to raise, you must crystallize the message. You must consider cutting off half of what you're doing, and you have to stay gritty. You must practice extreme focus. Now, when it comes to fundraising, keep it in front of you and don't be distracted. Don't be afraid to create metrics or KRIs, key result indicators, to help you track what is important. Keep it in front of you. People are drawn to passion. And if you're not passionate about what you are trying to get people to support, don't expect them to offer anything but guilt offerings at best. You want partners, and you want them to be passionate about what you're doing. Crystallize the message. Communicate clearly and specifically what you are raising funds for. The broader your approach, the less effective the ask. Cut off any clutter. And often that is half of what you think you need. If you think you need it, evaluate it again and again and cut off relentlessly so that you are focusing on the one thing that matters most in this busy, convoluted, crazy world. If you are not directly focused on one, if not a few things, you are not going to break through the noise. That was our problem. And so when it comes to fundraising, it's just like we had a spring dinner this past spring, and we have learned over time that with those fundraisers, we have to let the participants know that we are raising funds for a specific event or a specific goal. This past year, it was to help cover our general budget so that we can continue to do what we do. In years past, it was for property development or staffing, and years before that, it was just for whatever we needed money for. We didn't let them know. Well, each year we have increased our giving, increased the income from each one of those events, and we got to 15,000, and then 20, then 25, and people said, "Well, you're not going to be able to exceed that." Rarely do events continue to grow. And man, we just got more and more into focusing and crystallizing the message. This past year, we raised $45,000. And I believe that was because we were able to help individuals see very clearly what we were trying to accomplish. But we were also very good at investing in relationships, not just when you want something, but communicating with our partners regularly, and not just the highs, but also some lows as well. Your partners want to be part of what you're doing, right? That's why they're called partners. And donors are fine, but donors come and go, and partners are in it for the long haul. And when I am asking somebody to come alongside me as an individual, or if I'm doing a corporate campaign, we're getting ready to launch a large corporate campaign, $1.5 million for many different things, but I will communicate very clearly, what that corporate campaign is, and I will be investing in relationships that God's already aligned. And the one thing I don't have on here is referrals. Referrals are key. At the end of the day, I don't know enough people to accomplish what God has before me. But I know enough people that know more people who can connect me. And so you have to constantly be looking for increasing your partners and asking for referrals. At the end of the day, man, you got to be gritty. Some people don't like that word. Some people think of being dirty or whatever. Man, I just mean embracing raw passion, embracing excellence, focusing, and persevering. Just keeping your nose to the grindstone. So, guys, really that's it for today. But I really appreciate the opportunity to share. We would love it if the Blood Brothers Challenge is something that you would like to hear more about. Please reach out to me. My contact information will be here at the end of the slideshow. But Stewardship, Julianne, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And thank you, Ben. We really appreciate your presentation and sharing with us the importance of staying focused and to be gritty. I like that word. It's a good word. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
And thank you all again for joining us today. As I stated earlier, a copy of today's webinar will be sent to you along with June's newsletter. If you have any questions for Ben or myself, our contact information is on the screen. Today, all content from Ben's presentation is copyrighted. Please note that you can also view some more fundraising tips and tricks at our blog on our website, stewardshiptechnology.com/blog. You can also go to our blog for the latest updates and information about resources, products, services, industry trends, and future webinars. And as always, please like us and share us on Facebook or LinkedIn. Thank you again for joining us today, and thank you, Ben, for being our guest speaker. I hope everyone has a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.